today I'm going to be talking about what it's really like playing violin in a band. So, many of you might associate playing the violin traditionally with classical music in orchestras, but also you can play it a bit like an electric guitar in a band as a melody instrument as well. So this is mostly what I have done throughout my career as a musician and performer, is play in bands or play as a soloist with a guitar player. So it's not the traditional violin orchestra thing that most people do. Well, not most people, but most people associate with the violin. So yes, I've done all of the orchestra stuff when I was younger. I was really lucky to grow up in a town where there were a lot of resources for classical musicians, and I played violin every weekend in orchestras, and it was a great experience. I learned an awful lot about music through that, so I highly recommend orchestral experience even if your goal is to become a band musician, because it teaches you about counting and playing together, which is hugely important. So, oh yeah, and staying in time as well. When we just play on our own, we can often, unless we do metronome practice or play along to backing tracks, we often don't learn really truly how to play in time, because when you do that, basically if you make a mistake in an orchestra, you don't stop, you have to jump back in, and that's the training that it gives you. So there are some I guess good parts and bad parts about playing in a band. The great part is, if you, like me, love electric guitar, the violin lends itself so well to a similar sound, especially if you use pedals as well. I might do a separate video on pedals, but I will list below some pedals that I recommend as we go through these topics in various ways in this video. So, the great part is you can rock out and play what you like. You don't have to always follow a piece of sheet music that has prescripted notes to play. You can improvise a bit, and that really suits me because I'm the kind of player that likes to play by ear. You can also fix the parts in a band as well, and it's quite important to at least fix the chords that you play. And you know, sometimes depending on the kind of music, you can fix the parts in a really detailed way, and sometimes you can leave it completely open, so it's really more, for me, creatively inspiring than playing orchestral music. The other fun part about it is there's a performance element, so if you like performing, then it's great fun because you can also sort of dance around and jump and that kind of thing, and you know, for me, that's great fun, you know, especially when I was in my 20s. I really enjoyed doing that kind of thing. I also have played a lot in acoustic duos with guitar. I'm not going to talk about that so much today because I suspect that's not what you're interested in. But yeah, I'm going to talk about some of the technical issues that come up with playing violin in a band as well. And maybe also touch on some of I would say, ancillary issues that come with it as well, which maybe aren't directly related to the music and the technical side of it itself. So, first of all, if you play in a band, you are going to need amplification of your sound, because you'll be playing with a drum kit and a bass guitar and a guitar, perhaps. They're the most likely instruments, or keys, and they're all going to be amplified too. So the violin is a loud instrument, but when you're playing with a drum kit, it's not a loud instrument anymore. So how do we deal with that? You might think, first, I need to play into a microphone. Let me tell you, you will never get loud enough to play with a drum kit if you rely on just playing into a microphone. Also, if you want to move, which, as if you're going to relax and play, you need to move, a microphone doesn't work because you need to stay still. So your playing is going to probably sound pretty still as well. So I wouldn't recommend that. So I'm going to show you the two pickups I have and the difference between them and the scenarios that I use them in. I'll also link below where you can buy those pickups. So if you're not familiar with the term pickup, a pickup is the way that we pick up the sound literally from the instrument and put it through a speaker so that you can hear it. So it enables the sound to, sorry technical crew out there, I'm really not down with the technical words, but I can help you if you bear with me and my terrible technical language. Okay, first pickup we're going to look at, headway, the band. Okay, this is a piece of plastic that wraps around the instrument with using Velcro. It doesn't damage the body of the instrument because it's like a strap, and I'm going to show you how it works with my violin. And there's a microphone roughly here in the middle underneath, which picks up the sound literally with a microphone. So when you're playing as a soloist and you're not singing, this is a great pickup. If there's a microphone that you need to sing in as well, it's not a great pickup because microphone and microphone equals feedback, okay? So if it's just you, this is great, just don't go near any microphones. Also, there's more chance, there's just generally more chance for feedback if you are using this pickup, but the more simple your stage setup, so for example, when it's just me and my acoustic guitar player, I prefer this because it gives the real sound of the violin. And the sound generally for me is better. I don't need to put it through pedals in order to get a good sound. I do usually put it through a DI of some sort. Either I use an acoustic amplifier or I use a DI pedal. I'll link below to both of those. The ones that I recommend, at least anyway, the ones that I like using. So this is how it fits on the instrument. You basically wrap it round, there's a Velcro strap here. It's quite hard for me to show you how to put it on and off, but I'll give it a go. So you can see here the microphone sits under the strings here, quite close to the F hole. So depending how you adjust it, you can move the microphone left or right, which picks up more of the bass or the treble. So if you find that you're getting a very trebly sound, you might have the microphone too close to the E string. So just bear that in mind. You can always sort of twist it round. So it plugs in here with a jack cable here. Gosh, you're going to hear some of my embarrassing technical language now I've started talking technical. I still call leads wires, have done since I started music, can't stop it. So the wire goes in this hole here, and yeah, then you just plug it in either to an amp, directly into a PA system, which I wouldn't recommend because you can get a better sound if you just use maybe one intermediary pedal. I like the Fishman products because they are really high quality and the reverb is really good as well. So if you want acoustic amplification, Fishman is probably the best, which leads me to the next pick I'm going to show you actually, but I'm just going to show you how to remove this. See there's a strap, and then you need to feed it through here, and you can basically attach it without damaging any of the instrument whatsoever. So I prefer to use this one when I can. However, if I'm singing, because I'm also a singer, then it's better, especially if I'm singing in a really loud band. So this is the best pickup when your band is really, really, really loud. But the raw sound quality from it is not that good. I need to put it through pedals as well in order to make the violin sound nice. So again, I use a DI, an equalizer. An equalizer is essentially a way that you can adjust the frequencies. So it's not just low, mid, high like I have on my DI, but you get more detail. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I also have a couple of other pedals which I use when I want to use effects, but that's not a video for today. So I love an octave pedal, by the way. Oh, then you've got 3 violins, not 1. Amazing. So, all right, this one here, basically I've affixed a little tiny bit of plastic that comes with it, which for me seems pretty flimsy, like I'm not really that impressed with this. You attach it here to the tailpiece of the violin, and then you get a tiny micro, here's one of my technical terms, micro jack lead, a mini jack, yeah, the one that you use for headphones in before Bluetooth, terrible Bluetooth came out. and then you plug it into here. And the problem with this is the cable is mini jack to 1/4-inch jack, so it essentially is an unusual cable that you probably can't buy in every music shop. So it's good to have some spares, because if you lose it, then you can't play. So that for me isn't a great design, but at the same time, it does enable me to, let me just show you how this fixes. I think I need to put my violin down. Oh, this is a nightmare, because I have to always I have to tape it on myself in order to stop it falling out during the shows, which I think is a terrible design on Fishman's part. However, it is the best thing on the market for this particular scenario, so you just have to deal with it. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. Maybe I'll do a proper fitting video for these one days if anyone wants to know, but essentially you put that in yourself in this piece of plastic, which stretches over time, which is absolutely ridiculous. Everything is temporary these days, even expensive equipment, which this wasn't that cheap, always comes with things that break. Wonderful. But let's go back to how great it sounds. So you can see here, there's like a little piece of metal that picks up the sound from the bridge there. You basically insert it in here, and it stays in pretty well, this. I haven't got any problems with it, so I'm not going to complain, although it's really hard to adjust when trying to hold it in front of the camera. So I'm just going to do it myself here without, I don't want to damage my bridge in the name of YouTube. That wouldn't be a great cause, I don't think. Oh no, it's a noble cause. It's a noble cause. Oh my lord. Okay. One more go. One more go. There we go. All right. So you can see here, I put it in the bridge here. You can put it in the bass side or the treble side, but they recommend you put it in the treble side in the instructional videos. But yeah, I plug my little tiny cable here, which I don't have with me at the moment. It's currently where I rehearse in town. But it slips out all the time, so I have to tape it. And I like to dance on stage, so often if I have wires, then I'm at risk of standing on them. So it's not a great system, and maybe you'd want to look more at wireless systems. I have tried wireless systems before. You really need to invest quite a lot to get one that's really reliable and not subject to interference. I'm not a big fan of them, because I've had some near disasters before where mobile phone signals have cut in during wedding entrances and stuff. You know, it's really, I'm not a big fan of Bluetooth, by the way. So non-Bluetooth wireless systems are much better, but I'll go into those in another video. But if you are interested, I recommend either Shure or Sennheiser have a system, but it's a hefty investment. You may want to consider in-ear monitors as well. Although I've nearly gone deaf from those as well when the person on the desk turned me up too far. So again, I'm not that keen on them. For me, the best way to make sure you can hear yourself on stage is to have your own personal acoustic amplifier. I'm talking about acoustic amplification here, not electric. I don't play electric violin. I don't like the sound of them. I've not yet come across an electric violin where I thought, wow, that sounds better than acoustic. Just not true, okay? They look all right, but I don't even think they look that good, to be honest. Anyway, that's a different thing. Sorry, any electric violin players out there, but it's just not for me. So I like to keep my Fishman acoustic amp at ear height. If I can get it next to me on stage, then I'm in control of my own monitor, basically, so I can adjust the volume that I need without having to ask for it from the sound technician. And then that acts as a DI as well, so then I don't need another pedal. I can adjust my low, mids and highs on my amplifier. Let me just show you it. I'm going to take you on a journey around my house without showing you any of my mess. Okay. La 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 la, I'm trying desperately not to show you my pile of dirty washing right now. Okay, just so I can show you my amplifier, bear with me. There it is, I'm gonna link to it. So you can see here, let's just make sure. You've got a whole load of, this is gain, low, mid, high, anti-feedback. I've got lots of effects. I can also adjust the time of the effect as well. and the depth. So that's fantastic. And I've got 2 inputs there, so that's also great if I want to play my guitar or sing. So highly recommend that particular. Oh, let's get you back without showing you anything. Isn't it nice outside? Wow, beautiful. Hey, just one little quick look out the window. Such a beautiful place. This is my view, I love it. Anyway, back to the story. So you need monitoring. You should have monitoring on your stage anyway, but often if you're competing with an electric guitar, you won't be able to hear the violin very clearly because they compete within the same frequency bandwidth. So for me, I like to keep my monitoring separate from the electric guitar. Otherwise, it's much harder. But you don't often get a choice, but if you can take your own amplifier with you everywhere, then you're in control. So that's something I'd advise. Okay, so I promised some more information beyond the technical stuff. Oh, ear defense. Ear defense is absolutely critical. So since I started playing in bands, I was very lucky that I was given a strong piece of advice from the beginning to get ear molded ear protection. So I always have these with me whenever I play with a drum kit. And as a result, I don't have any damage to my hearing that I'm aware of yet. And I've been playing with bands for 12, 13 years. So I also know musicians who have gone deaf from playing with bands and had to stop music. So I highly recommend you get ear molded shaped headphones. Oh God, this is my technical language. Earplugs. They're not headphones. And I will link to where I got mine from. But you, depending on your country, you'll need to go and get the in-ear part. You need to get a mold made of that from a hearing specialist. They also have to clean your ears out first, and then you send the molds off to a manufacturer, and then they'll send you back the earplugs. I was about to call them headphones. If you can't afford that, then these are the next best thing. I will link down again to where you can buy these from. These are loop earplugs, which people use just when they want to sleep on a plane or whatever, but they're also great. And they fit well. They have different sizes that come with it. So, another element that you should consider if you want to play in a band is that you're going to shred through bows more quickly, even with the best will in the world and the best bow technique in the world. Unfortunately, it's just a peril of the job because you are going to use more pressure on your bow in order to achieve enough sound that you can hear yourself, unless you've got a really great sound engineer or you have your own amplifier. If you have your own amplifier next to you, you're less likely to shred your bow hair because you won't overplay. And it's not good to overplay as well, because when I say overplay, I mean applying more pressure on the string so that you can be louder. It's better to turn the volume up, because if you consistently bash away at your violin, like I did when I was in my early 20s, loud as possible, blah, 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 I don't care, whatever, you can end up with some shoulder problems, as I found out, and arm problems. So I have now got to do maintenance in order to maintain my ability to play violin in loud bands. And actually, I'm currently stepping back from my current loud band because of various issues. But one of the things that I'm pleased about is after I play say a gig with that band, then afterwards I have quite a lot of maintenance that I have to do in order to be able to do that again the next day, for example. So I'm going to do a specialist video on this as well, to talk about these issues. But in the long run, especially as I'm getting older now, I see less loud bands in my future and more gentle music. Why? Because I believe as you get older, you should be able to play without effort in order to play until you die. If you have to put effort in, then you're going to have repercussions. And very much when I play with loud rock bands, I need to put a lot of effort in. So it's great when you're young. I love it. I love the energy of it. It's really good fun. But yeah, there are some long-term effects. And violinists that tend to play long-term with bands do have shoulder problems often. So you really need to be very aware of your posture, very aware of the physio that goes with it, and really conscious of whether you can hear yourself or not, because if you have to overplay, you're going to shred your bows, and you're also potentially going to damage your own nerves in your body. So just bear that in mind. You really have to take this stuff seriously. I live on a remote island near Thailand, so I have 4 bows at any given point, because if I don't have 4 bows, then I can't get them rehaired here. I have to go to Bangkok. So this will last me, say, 6 months to a year of loud band playing. Whereas if I'm not playing in a loud band, then I rehair my bow maybe once a year, but now I rehair my bows 8 times a year. So, well, I rehair 8 times, you know, probably 6 to 8 times. So, okay, is there anything else? I guess I can touch on this issue. I'm female, and most of the time when you're in bands, unfortunately, it has been the case that the predominant gender in the music industry is male. So there are some issues around that as well. You have to really learn how to assert yourself in a way that is healthy and balanced in order to have your voice heard sometimes, because let's just say you get mansplained quite a lot, and it doesn't matter what level of musical ability you come in with, there can be certain personalities that will be threatened by that, and it is just the case. Not always the case though, and I tend to find that the more self-assured and confident and professional a musician is, that tends to happen less. It tends to happen more in the amateur world. People want to teach you because you're a female, and they want to show you how to play an instrument, you know, it's this kind of thing. So you have to put up with quite a lot of that. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up here because this has been quite a long video. If you have any more questions about what it's like to play violin in a band and any of the technical issues that come up with that, let me just add, it's a lot of fun. So I would highly recommend, if you're young, give it a go if you get the opportunity, because it gives you such a rich life and you make friends, you can travel. I would never ever ever give up the experiences that I've had from playing in bands and being able to play at festivals and tour and everything. It's amazing. And the entire network of people that I've met in my life have come from those experiences. So do it!